Hello, this card that I'm making, I'm designing for my daughter's housewarming party. It features a pair of girls on a door which opens to reveal a greeting inside. The background I did from a 12 by 12 cardstock. Each sheet of paper will make 6 cards, so this design is very easy to mass produce. The inside of the card I have left empty because she will print out the details of the date, the time, etc., and adhere it to the inside of the card. Let me go over the materials that I used today to make this card. I have a card base in beige, scored at 4 1/4. It's cut 8.5 by 5.5. I also have another piece of beige paper, which is 7.5 by 3.5. I have a piece of purple paper, a square, 3 3/4. I have a green scrap 4 inches long by 1 inch wide, and this is the 12 by 12 paper, a piece that measures 5 1/4 by 4. So you cut the paper 5 1/4 and then 5 1/4, and you'll end up with 2 strips and a little bit of selvage in, and then you turn it and cut it evenly into 4. That's how you get all 6 pieces. I decided not to show you that because that was pretty easy to figure out. It's the same way for any 12 by 12 paper. This design has some coloring, and I'm using the distress markers. I have broken china, rusty hinge, mustard seed, peeled paint, and fired brick. And I also have a lilac marker. The stamp sets I'm using today are both Stampin' Up. It's Kimono Kids. This is a relatively old stamp set. I have no idea if it's still available, but it is adorable, isn't it? And also Sincere Salutations for this You're Invited. I'm also going to need a 3 3/4 inch circle die. I'm not going to be cutting this, but I'm using it to get this curve here. Okay, let me clear some of this stuff away, and I'll just jump right in and start putting the card together. I've brought in my Score Buddy by Martha Stewart. I think that's the name of it. This is allows you to do scoring. It comes with a bone folder, and it also has an extra piece which you can use, if I can get it out. There we go. Which allows you to make diagonal scorings. Sorry, diagonal scorings. I don't use this much, as you could tell. I use something else for making envelopes. That's what this is for. And you can see on the back, it tells you a quick sheet of the dimensions to cut your paper and where you score, and you'll end up with an envelope. It's useful, but I use something else. So this door here is a little bit tricky, but I'm going to go through it slowly so that you can see. There's perhaps a better way of doing it than I'm going to illustrate it, but this worked for me. So this is cut 7.5 by 3.5, as I mentioned, and I'm going to score it at 2 inches. And now turn it around and score it again at 2 inches. Okay, we are finished with this. We'll take this out of the way. Now, I'm going to do the stamping on this before I move on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the stamping of the girls on the piece of paper before I fold it. So I'm using my Versafine Onyx Black, and I want to stamp the girl a little bit over toward the fold. I'm making sure that I get a good coverage, and I want her to be a little bit low but straight. Okay, good. Clean that up real quick. And now the other girl, I will stamp on the other side. Also a little bit closer to the fold. And also trying to keep her even with her sister on the other side. Okay, good. Now the tricky part. Let this dry for a second. I need to do a little bit of trimming to the door here. We tried to do this scoring exactly to where we needed it to be, but it just didn't want to work, so this was the way that my husband came up with to make it work, so I'm just going with it. Using a bone folder, press the little girls in. Okay, and as you see, there's a little bit of overlap, so we're going to trim that off. So bring in the thing, and you want to cut off about 1/4 of an inch. And hopefully I did this right. Let's check and see if it closes. Yes, there's a little bitty gap, but that's fine. Now you need a bit of scrap. Let's see. Just for here. Oh, I have put a little down there. Because I don't want the stamping that I'm about to do to show to the inside. So I put just a little bit of paper there. So I'm going to stamp the fans into the girls' hands. Didn't stick. Okay, this fan will go, let's try the other way. I didn't do the trick where I put a little bit of Tombow on this. I was hoping that it would just stick on its own, but it's now defying me. Oh, pretty good. And now the other fan in the other girl's hand. And this will go over the edge, but that's fine. And now I want to use the fan as a decoration for the top. And I'm holding it closed. Woo! Okay, you didn't see that? It didn't happen. Okay, let's clear that up so we won't make a mess. And there we have it. The fan goes across the doors. Now I need to get the circle, and I'm going to use it to cut this arc here. So flip that over, and I need a pencil, which my granddaughter has lifted. I'll use this one. So you just line it up about centered and make a very light pencil mark. Same thing on the other side. I think I need a grid paper for this. I want to make sure that I get it lined up right. So I'm going to grab a piece of grid paper from my Misty. Looks about right. Alrighty. Now I take my scissors and just trim that away. There. Good. Now I'm going to do the coloring. So I am going to use my mat here. Just put a little bit of color directly onto my mat and pick it up with my aqua brush. I am going to speed this part up. Alright, that is the coloring. So it's all clean on the inside. So now I'm going to stamp it. It says you're invited. Leave that to dry for a moment. Clear some of this stuff out of the way. Alright, moving on. I want to make this background piece, so I'm going to tape the green to the purple and then tape this to that. So where is my, I'm going to use my small tape runner for this one. I want it to be about an inch up from the bottom, thereabouts, but straight. Cut this little extra piece off. Now I want this to be on just like this, so the little bit of the green pokes out, but I also want it to be about even area around it. Okay, hold it in place. Alright, now I'll take the scissors and just eyeball that curve at the top. Oops. So I needed to have it down a little bit more, but it's alright. It'll be fine. Now, assembly. Okay, that's the coloring, that's the card. Very simple, very quick. I'm going to do a little bit of sparkle on the little items on the dress to make it a little bit more fancy. And then maybe the fans too. Okay, that's the card. It was very simple. You can replicate this design with any 12 by 12 paper or any paper that you have. This is the right dimensions. If you didn't like the curve that I did, you didn't have to do it. Perhaps your hand would be a little bit steadier than mine was, and you could get a better line, because as you see, they both are not the same size. But each one will be unique, and I like that. Thanks for watching. I'd like to thank my brother David for the wonderful music that he wrote specifically for this card. I'd also like to give a shout out to my nail ladies at Juice Ball Nails. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I put out new content and videos pretty frequently. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Take care.